neck.
Hello and welcome to the Green Umbrella Live Lunch. Do you know, I hit live then and I forgot to look for it to actually tell me we're going live. I was like looking at a different part of the screen. I was going, what's going on? But we're here, we are live, it's all working. Just wait for the little notification to come up on Facebook and tell me that we are live. And then I know we are good. It does, there you go. I've got it for LinkedIn. Hello LinkedIn, we see you. Well, we don't see you, you see us. There we go. I've just realised my voice does still sound a little strange, doesn't it? When I get all excited and use my speaker voice.
Yeah,
does it sound all right?
It sounds good. But yeah, like before we came on the call, I wouldn't have even been able to tell. And then when you just did that intro, I was like, oh yeah, Christina's voice sounds strained. It's all that excitement, Christina.
This weekend it was so exciting. So I went to Unleash the Power Within, which is a Tony Robbins event. I've never been to a Tony Robbins event before, and I've always been a little bit like, I love events that are high energy, where the music's playing, where you're dancing and you're getting involved and engaging. But I always thought a Tony Robbins event would just be a bit too much for little old me. But it's freaking amazing. It was absolutely amazing. You all need to go, guys. You all need to go.
Where was it?
Birmingham.
Oh, God, it's not too far for you.
Yeah, so I still stayed up there because they're really, really long days. You're sort of you're like each day they're delivering content, and it's however long it takes. If they run over, they run over. You're there. But yeah, day one finishes with a fire walk. So there I was trotting across hot coals what's the phrase? It ain't no thing. Is that the phrase?
Thing.
I don't know. I'm not that cool, am I? Really?
No, you've ruined it there.
Sound like a right marshmallow.
There we go. Thanks, Charles. Okay, so Green Umbrella Live Lunch. Here we go. I haven't had the notification on Facebook, which makes me feel like maybe it's not working over there. Have you guys had it?
I'm just good, yeah. Karma, Charles.
Right in the face. I've had the YouTube notification.
I'm like less than 2 minutes in, and I got practice ready. There we go. Cool. Okay.
Oh, that keyboard sound.
Look at the lights as well, though. Ooh.
Yeah, loving that keyboard.
Nice. Okay, so here we are. Green Umbrella Live Lunch. Let's go for it. Khan is there on LinkedIn saying hello, legends. Hi, Khan. How you doing? Khan is an extended part of the team now. Works with me from a Green Umbrella perspective, also from a success psychology perspective. So shout out to Khan. Whoop, whoop. I won't tell you what he does. He just listens to me nagging most of the time. That's it. Editing my reels, putting images together for my podcast, using the amazing personal brand images that Charles creates, which is why we've got Charles on the show today. We're going to talk about something you know about, Charles, right?
I think so.
Yeah, like boxes.
Yeah, this is a box. It stacks on top of each other.
No, so Charles, like you've been on before, but just give us an intro, help people understand why it is you're here.
I've just realised I've got this headset on and it's not actually doing anything. It's actually coming through the computer. My bad. So my name's Charles. You are?
You just added it for the look.
It was the ambiance. I'm Charles from JPAD Media. We're a photography specialist in the sporting industry. However, we don't just do that. We're a full-time media company providing photo, film, and audio services. So, yeah, branding shots, a lot of action photos, but then we do podcasts and all that kind of thing. And the boxes are because we've moved into a new office and it's not set up yet. We don't just have a state.
I was going to say, having shared offices with you in the past, Charles, I know that is not how you normally operate. So it's the OCD kicking in big time.
I'm trying to ignore it.
So it's really helping me pointing it out then.
Yeah, oh yeah, massively. It's doing my nutting, but it will get there, and it'll get to. I mean, you've seen my Pinterest wall of what I want my ideal studio to look like, and this definitely is not it. I'll put it that way. There we go.
No worries. So personal brand photography.
Yeah.
Now this is something that I hate doing.
Yeah, I can vouch for that.
But a lot of people dislike it, right?
A lot of people hate the camera, me being one of them, which is why I'm behind it rather than in front of it. And then I'll see you later, Kim.
Yeah, she's having issues with her phone. She just WhatsApped me. It's just not working. So I think it might just be the three of us, but it's cool. Let's go for it.
No, that's cool. Yeah, no, a lot of people hate it, but it's one of those things you do need to do, because people buy from people, and you can write an email, but it's always better putting a photo in front of it or putting a video in front of it and showing off your personality. And the best way to do that is through the way you act. A lot of people approach it like, oh my God, I hate my photo being taken. I'm not going to stand in the studio with lights and all that, which is the perception that you had the first time we did a session. But it was a case of, it turned into, we had a conversation, and after a while, you calm down. Not calm down, I won't go, but you got comfortable.
Yeah.
And we were just chatting and got some, if I do say so myself, some good pictures of you that you still use to this day. And
yeah.
That
I think this is the thing, because quite often when someone goes for a shoot like that, it's because, and this is what I did. I needed I was using a headshot that was from 2012, and it was a photo from the morning when I got married. So my makeup was done, my hair was done, I was looking all glamorous. But the issue with that was I got older. and so that photo did not look like me anymore. I got older, I put a load of weight on, and it was it's not, what you were seeing was not who was showing up physically. Yeah. So that I needed to get new headshots. But I think this is what happens. It's like someone goes, right, I need a new headshot, and they'll go to a photographer for a headshot, rather than thinking, actually, my social media content, my website, my email marketing, my ads, even my print materials, my pop-up banners, there needs to be an image of me on there. And not just the one image, not the same image again and again and again, but a collection of images, but images that really communicate who you are, what you stand for, and images that communicate your values.
Yeah.
And I don't think people approach personal brand shoots in that way at all, do they? Not as a standard.
No, they see it as a headshot that's going to be like a profile picture on their LinkedIn, and that's it. Whereas like a brand shoot it's not just for that profile shot, it is for marketing material. It's to go, like you said, it's across your website, it's across your social media. You can do so much with it, but the perception is there, it's just a profile picture. But like it's getting it in the right environment, everything around you. There's a lot that goes into it beforehand than just standing in front of a camera.
So tell us what that is. What's 3 things that we should consider if we're going to make that move?
So if you're going to make that move, I'd consider branding. So colors. If your colors say are green, there's no point doing a photo shoot of bright pink photos. So when I say that, I mean if you're wearing a pink suit but your branding's green, what's the connection there? And then you've got your environment as well, which would be, are you a professional or are you someone that is a hoarder, which I look like right now? So if you're a professional, you want a professional background, you want to come across as empowering, really. So like using yours as an example, we chose the offices, but it was the industrial look that you're dealing with high-end professional people and
Trying to.
Well, now you've got the photos, you are, so it's okay. No, but it's taking all that into consideration as well. Like, you don't want a mess behind you. You don't want to do it in your spare room that's got a load of rubbish. You want to, but then again, you don't want to go to the woods if you're not putting an environmental message across.
Mm.
So if you work in an office, where's the relevance?
I think environments is really, really important, because there's also what's an environment you're going to be comfortable in. Like it's different now. If I came to your studio now, because of the relationship we've got and my expectations and how we work together when we do these shoots, I think it would be different now coming to your studio. But certainly that sort of second shoot that we did, being in an environment that was right for me, where I could be myself, I think it made all the difference. Because it's how you present whilst the photos are being taken. I mean, we were chatting business, entrepreneurship, we were laughing, we were gossiping, bitching about people we both knew. You know, but we were having a laugh. We were hanging out, and photos were being taken, and I think that's why those. Let's say what we've done 3-4 shoots now, and across all of them, it is that's what's come through in the photos, and people are like, oh my God, it's like, he's really captured your personality. That's why. What's interesting is, out of the shoots that we've done, there's one set of photos that I just don't like. And it's because I want some photos that are outside. I want a different environment. And the environment was just all wrong. My daughter was with us, Bella was with us. And the photos of me and Bella, I love. Absolutely love, like the candid ones that you took, but that was the right headspace, the right relationship for that environment. The business ones, the personal brand ones, I'm like, I don't like them very much. And
and I was the same with that. Like it wasn't I didn't like the photos, it was I knew you wouldn't like the photos. This is like, well, that's probably point number 3, is choosing the right photographer for you. Like, I won't be everyone's cup of tea. The way I work won't be everyone's cup of tea. But if you have a connection with the photographer, as little as it is, you can get better pictures out of it, and like better imagery, better videos, whatever it is. You got to build that relationship with whoever it is you choose, I believe. And we've known each other for a few years now, so we can approach the photo shoot. I mean, now I'm like, come on, stop putting it off, put your makeup on, let's do it. And
I come up with every excuse.
Every excuse. But it's now like, we've got that relationship now where I can kick you up the arse. But that's the kind of connection you want with your photographer. Like,
there is one thing you still can't get me to do, though, and that's put a serious face.
I can, but it's the face after that I'm looking for, which always goes through.
He's like, try and look serious, and I try really hard, and then I just erupt into giggles. I can't help myself. And it's like it's a challenge, an absolute challenge. But that's where the mischief comes out, and like I said, we get to capture that, which is fantastic. Okay, so if someone's thinking about personal brand shoots, again, when I was first thinking about it, I was thinking it's going to be like half a day, a whole day. I'm going to have to bring 23 changes of like outfits and things like that. But it's really not that complicated, is it? For the person that you're photographing.
No, not at all. It's the pressure's on like us as photographers rather than you. Like, if you want to have 100 outfits, have 100 outfits. But at the end of the day, it could. With personal branding shoots, I hate putting a time on it. For instance, when we did the first one, you were like, pop up for an hour. I think in total, I was there for a good 4 hours.
We were chatting.
Yeah, because it was chatting, but then it was getting the photos as well. And it is, just allow like a day. You might be finished before, and then you can crack on your emails or whatever you need to do. But allow a day to have this shoot and then just do it at your leisure. Rather than, because this is where you build pressure upon yourself, because you're like, right, an hour, I've got to get this one shot that's in my head. But it's like you won't get it after that hour. And then you go away as the subject really annoyed because you haven't had that photo that you imagined that would be amazing on your website. It's like just...
And I think when you try and do it in a small window of time, when you're like, smile and post, smile and post, smile and post, it's exhausting.
Oh, massively.
And then it feels really fake as well. And this is, what we're trying to achieve is something that is you want imagery that's authentic, because you're going to be using, it's an investment. You're going to be using it for a while, so it's got to work. It's got to work.
This is it as well. Like, people don't see it as, they see it as photos, whereas you've got to look at it as assets to your business. And it is like, it's evergreen as well. You could be using them years down the line. And obviously you age and hair color and all that, whatever changes, but you've still got these in your bag to use over, like, we do a photo shoot today and you've got photos next year.
Yeah.
There's fresh content on your, like, to your audience across your market material. So it is looking at it as an asset rather than...
I do want to do another shoot, but only, I tell you what I want to do is I want to do it on a day where I know I'm going into London and I've got a few things set up, and I just want you to follow me around.
We can do that.
And it is just like, because that it's kind of my life, right? It's like, get up, beautiful, Northamptonshire scenery, rolling hills, the rest of it, very, very green, on the train into Euston, King's Cross, meetings, the tube, the Ubers, and it's a different, it's still me being me, but it's in that different environment, but it's an environment I'm very comfortable with now. And I think it is, again, it's that being able to show the diversity in where we're working, how we're working, that kind of stuff. We've got some funny comments popping up now. So Paul has said, so what you mean, Charles is your new stalker? Well, I was getting bored of the old ones, Paul. I prefer Emma's comment. So Emma's my older daughter. She's like Adventures with Christina. Now she knows what that means. She's been on adventures with me before. So, if it's a hashtag, it's got to be a positive experience, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I like that hashtag.
Yeah, it's an amazing hashtag, Adventures with Christina.
You've got to hashtag that on every post now, Christina.
I'm going to blame that delay on you guys. I'm just going to say it was an internet thing, right? You having to think about it, right? Emma said yes. There you go. Thanks, Emma. Yeah. Oh, love you.
But going back to that, that's exactly the point about environment. You're comfortable, like you're doing your day to day. Let's get you in environment doing what you do. Like, for instance, we haven't just done like an office shoot. We've done where you've been talking on stage. You're in environment, you're doing exactly what you do, and then those images get pushed across everywhere.
Yeah, I need another speaking gig like that again, because I need to get another speaking gig with a nice sizable audience again, don't I? Because I've lost 5 stone since we had those photos taken. Not that it's all about my vanity, but
Never.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, no, we do need to. Okay, so I want to pick up on something you said. Okay, this is what I'm going to bring Nicole into the conversation. So, like I said, photography is your thing. You do a lot of event photography, especially sort of sports events, that kind of thing. All those cool action shots that you think, how the hell did that photographer get that shot? But what people are probably not as aware of, and even people that do know you, is that you do things like video, you do loads of stuff around podcasts now as well, don't you?
Yeah, I sure do.
And Nicole, do you know Nicole's got a new podcast?
I've heard about this because someone's going on as a guest, and she told me the other day.
Oh, yeah. So this is basically, I would say, an entertainment podcast. So me and my friend Naomi are very into TV and film. So we're just discussing the latest gossip in terms of TV and film, what we're watching. Yeah. And then, I don't know. And then we sort of also have a game that we play called What Would You Do, where we put ourselves in a film setting and what we would do in that certain situation. And then we also have just, we're trying to, like, I wouldn't say advise, because I said, I was like, if you can take it as advice, you could take it. But we're just, showing support through people's sort of stages in life. So if people sort of are going through things, we offer just our support there. And then we have our dilemma of the week, but I won't go into that because it's probably crossing that PG section. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no.
Knowing you, I know exactly what you mean. But
there you go. So you know me as well to know. Yeah, we won't ask any questions down there. But yeah, it's we started it. We've been working on it for a few months, but we actually started and got our first episode out last week. And yeah, we record every Friday night. So after work on Fridays, I go over to Naomi's, and yeah, it's a long process. I don't know if you find this recording podcasts, but I feel me and Naomi are just long as well. We just take ages to get ready, and then we finally get recording, and then get socials and stuff afterwards. But yeah.
Are you filming as well as doing audio?
Yeah, so we put social clips out, and this is the thing, my expertise, like I can sort of plan, do socials, things like that, but in terms of running a camera, no. I can take pictures on my phone, but trying to get professional shots, that way we have like some support. So we've got sort of one camera on us now that records, and then we have actually got a photographer as well that just takes shots throughout the filming. But they're all friends, because we did I know, like earlier on in the year we did a Love Island pod, and yeah, they were all there helping us. So we've sort of all worked as a team, but it's a bit more of an intimate team this time, where we all have our sort of roles within it. But yeah, it's really good fun. I think there'll be a episode dropping today, I think. I don't know.
So you said Nicole then, I know Charles, because we've worked on a couple of podcast launches together, like that period of I'm going to start a podcast and it actually coming to life. There's a lot that happens there. So like what are the key things? Concept?
Yeah. Concept, like when you say concept, is it going to be a one-man band? Is it going to be duo hosted? Are you going to have guests? And then the most important, what are you going to talk about?
And who's it for?
Yeah, who is your audience? And it is pretty much like your whole marketing journey. Like, what is your avatar? And it's going down that route and figuring all that out. I mean, a podcast, you could launch it tomorrow, or it could take 18 months. And it is taking it all into consideration. But the one thing I would say is don't leave it too long. Just do it and figure it out.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to put it off.
I agree, because I feel like it's like starting a job, isn't it? Like you have to give it time to get into a structure. And I'd say that with this, we're still working on it. I'm like telling myself in like a month, I feel like we'll just be able to do it with our eyes closed. Do you know what I mean? But it's just, yeah, I think it's a process. I just said you just got to do it sometimes.
A lot of people don't, like, they see it and they're like, oh no, I don't need a podcast. But like, the power of it is amazing. Like I started mine because of lockdown and I was bored and I needed something to do. I've got clients all over the world now because of that podcast, because they heard that podcast. So
it opens doors. It's absolutely crazy. Again, think about personal brand. You are positioning yourself as an expert. You're positioning yourself as, you want people to see that you've got the right connections because you're operating at a level. And I do feel just the fact that you have a podcast, people view you it's like, oh, she's got a podcast, he's got a podcast. And then when you're trying to, if you're trying to make contact with someone and you can't get past the gatekeeper, as soon as you're saying like, I want to have a because I'd love them to come on the podcast, it's that sort of stroking of an ego almost. And they're like, oh yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. And all of a sudden now you've got a conversation one-to-one. If you think about rapport building, recording a podcast is the ultimate way to build rapport because you have a relaxed conversation. You're putting them on a pedestal to show them in the best light. You finish recording and it's like, okay, well, whilst you're here, and to be honest, more often than not, what happens is that it's them asking you what they can do for you. Mm-hmm. So you haven't even got to go in with like the pitch or the sale or to ask the question. You're answering with what it is that you want. It's an absolutely amazing thing from a personal brand perspective.
Oh yeah, massively. And like flipping it back to, if we go to like social media, people always struggle like, oh, I don't know what to post about. Podcast, you've got so much. I mean, you've just mentioned them in what you do. You've got the audio file, you've got the photos, you've got the video, which can all be cut up. Like that's a good month's worth of social media right there.
No, definitely.
Along with, and like the personal branding shoot.
That is the thing, I think. And I know that we've discussed it within this chat so far about sort of getting used to those professional photos and the camera and stuff. And I'd say that's the thing as well, like that the area we need to improve on, because me and Naomi have been friends for 6 years. And like the moment I met her, I was like, she's instantly going to be my friend because we're both just weird and wonderful. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, and I just really want to capture pictures that represents that. Do you know what I mean? Our sort of chemistry between each other. And I think that's just, as I said, there's elements when you sort of listen to even the first episode where you can see our friendship. But when we did our first shoot, it was very much like we were very aware this pointy professional camera was looking at us, and we were just kind of like, how do we capture our friendship through the camera? Do you know what I mean? So I think, yeah, and I think last week Kai, his name is, who takes the photos, he was there and he was taking loads of photos for us throughout the shoot this time. And Naomi said, I haven't seen them, but Naomi said that there's some really good ones in there that just captures us laughing and things like that. And I think that's just kind of what we need to sort of ease us in. And then we'll get some more where we're sort of a bit posy. But as you said, Christine, you don't want it to come across like forced. And there was ones where we were stood there and I just went, oh, Naomi, let's like hug each other. And she was like, yeah, okay. And we're hugging each other. And it was like we were posing for a prom photo. And I was like, yeah, we can't use these. So there was actually only a few where I think there was 3 that I really liked in the first shot, but I think it's because we haven't done it for a while. So it's just being comfortable, isn't it?
This is what I mean. Like, you can't put a time limit on it because then you're just pressurizing yourself.
Yeah. And that's a question to you, Charles. If someone is uncomfortable in front of the camera and just doesn't know what to do you like direct them? Like, do you know how to get them to sort of come out of their shell?
This is where like the relationship comes in like massively, but then it them to do stuff like, for instance, Christina, pull a serious face. I get to do that because she can, and she ends up going into laughter. Every time, no matter how many times I do it, she knows exactly what's coming. She'll just burn into laughter. And I'm actually going for that photo. I'm not going for the serious face.
Yeah.
So it's getting, it's just different actions, and it's, like, do your best Vogue shot. I mean, there's a photo I did a guy when we were in Wembley. I told him to do his best Vogue shot. He did POUT, and this guy, he never stopped smiling. But to get him to do a serious face brought out an even bigger smile. And it was, yeah, it's just doing little actions and little tweaks and acting like a Muppet, really, or a marshmallow.
Yeah, that's the thing, I think. That's the thing, I think.
I don't know what this marshmallow thing is about. But literally, so I'll call it the green room, like the staging area before we hit the live button. And I've got no idea. All of a sudden, Kim says to Charles, "You've got to use the word marshmallow." So that's why I keep saying it. What is that even about?
I think it's random.
Because it's just random. It's just a word. Let's throw that in the mix.
Yeah, no idea.
I think we've been all under. We're letting out our secrets now, but I think yeah, Kim has this game whenever we're on live lunch. She just throws a word out. She did it to Harj as well. She said, "Harj, you need to get this word out in live lunch." I swear it was Harj, and he actually did it.
Yeah,
so it's
there
funny,
was. I remember that.
it's
Safe word.
But yeah,
you haven't got to be rescue yet, Paul.
No one's rescuing him.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is about to get them comfortable on camera. Okay, what if? So not everyone's going to invest in a shoot. Like they've got to get to a point in business before they're ready to actually say, like, book a photographer, take the time out. I mean, one thing I would say is having a photo shoot, having a personal brand shoot is not as expensive as you think it's going to be. It's not as pricey as you think it might be. So definitely talk to, whether it's Charles, someone in your area. I mean, Charles is up and down the country anyway, so I'm sure he'll come to where you are.
Around the world.
Yeah, around the world. Mr. International. But yeah, it's but not everyone's going to go that route. So they've got their handy smartphone and maybe they've invested in a tripod.
Yeah.
And they're trying to take decent photos of them. And, you know, these have got pretty good cameras in now, haven't they?
I mean, like the technology now that's in phones is unreal. And like my biggest competitor is the iPhone or Samsung. Sorry, the brands are out there.
The people that don't use, those people that don't use proper phones.
Yeah. Ooh.
Coming for the
Yeah,
that's on those Androids, those photos are incredible. Like whenever I see videos, like someone put it in sand on a beach, and they had an iPhone and an Android, and it was just a picture of sand, and they both look really good. But obviously with the iPhone, you can see the border a bit, whereas an Android, because it's like a full screen, it just looked. He tapped it, and I thought, oh my god. But I'm sorry, I'm with the iPhone lot. Sorry, Android users. Carry on, Charles.
One of them.
So go on, tips for taking photos.
Yeah,
then.
So I would do it. It's literally get a friend or get a tripod and set it up on a timer. But my advice would do it landscape rather than portrait, because you can always zoom in, crop everything. Whereas a lot of people tend to go portrait and it cuts out everything and you can't do as much with it. I believe that's my personal opinion. You might have another, but yeah, and you can do, like, with the technology that they've got today, you can do so much with it and just edit it, get high contrast in there and do that, but only do that with the aim to have a professional branding shoot.
What about framing and things like that?
Rule of thirds, if you haven't heard of that, it's basically a grid. I'd always use, so the rule of thirds is, how many lines is it? 6. So you got your frame, there's 3 down, 3 across, and you've got points. Use those points as a like a target, basically. So don't go center of the frame, sort of like that. Put your eyes to the side and get the point on in there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so where the lines cross over.
Yeah. Use angles. Don't everyone. It always pisses me off. Sorry, excuse my French, but when people are like, they lift their phone all the way up here.
It makes you look younger when you do that.
Yeah, but it all.
Ask me how I know.
How
No answer.
do you know?
If you're going to do that, put your tongue to the top of your mouth. That's supposed to help.
I don't think that works. I see videos on this and I'm just like,
I'm doing it now. I don't think I can younger.
That's a top tip, apparently. But I don't think
I've heard that. And I've seen people do it and I'm like, wow, look at that side profile.
Yeah.
But then it's like when I do it, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. But
Yeah.
it's interesting, isn't it?
Oh, massively. But it is, yeah, get a tripod. But my advice on it would be have a friend there so you can sort of enact the personal brand shoot of having a laugh.
That's the thing. I feel like when someone takes photos of me on a phone, I feel so much more comfortable because I know what to expect with a phone. And like when a friend is taking the pictures, they just know me. As you said, again, it's that relationship with someone where you know they're going to be there for a odd 20 minutes taking photos of me going, take some more. Do you know what I mean? Like me, I don't know. It's funny. I can literally count how many people do that where they're like, can you just get some more of me? Because on a phone, you can just look at them instantly and flick through and be like, yeah, no, can I just have some more at this angle? And you can sort of, you don't mind telling them what to do.
Right, so here's an important question. Right, teeth or no teeth?
Personal preference. Don't pout. Whatever you do, don't pout.
Every time
What,
I have
like
my
this?
photograph taken, every time I have my photograph taken, all I can think is teeth or no teeth, teeth or no teeth. I don't know how I smile.
Yeah.
Like completely. Do you like overthink? And then this is like this is the camera's in front of me. This is all the stuff that's going through my head. Like ask me to speak on stage, get me on a webinar, something like that. Even this, because I can see myself, I'm constantly like noticing what my hair like is. If I got is a bit of my hair falling funny, or how am I smiling, or where am I looking? Do I look distracted? It's like it's constantly there in my, well, it's not even subconscious, it's totally conscious, but it's like the thought behind whatever we're talking about. So I think there is there's an element of being able to just be totally good with yourself, and even when you have those thoughts, just push them aside and go, no, I'm here to have the photo taken, I'm here to achieve whatever it is you want to achieve.
Oh yeah. And it is, like you said, it's the pressure. Like, as soon as you say teeth or no teeth, when you do the no teeth shot, obviously your mouth's shut, you go to teeth, you just grimace. You're like, automatically, I don't know why, but your jaw goes in and you're like, hello.
But, have you seen that episode of Friends where Monica and Shana are getting the professional photo shoot, and Shana's just like, because he just doesn't know how to smile, like, and because he's been put in front of a professional camera, whereas he's actually got a lovely smile, but it's as soon as you're in front of that shot,
you say smile. Yeah, as soon as you say smile, it is that.
Yeah, and I think the more that you do actually take these photos, whether it's on your phone or professional, you get a lot more comfortable with yourself, where you sort of know, like, I don't know, how to smile, how to pose. Like, Christina, I've got a question for you. Do you have a side do you have a side that you prefer?
Yes.
When you have photos, do you have a
side with the fringe?
Yeah.
Because that way it looks like I've got a massive forehead, which I have.
Yeah. No.
You're supposed to go, yeah.
But yeah, I agree. That's why I was going, yeah, because it's like, I agree. I feel like, for example, when we were doing that first photo shoot, Naomi and me have the same side, and I hated it because, like, I had to compromise. And she was like, can I have this side? And I was like, oh, that's my side as well. And then
that's why you do both.
Like, yeah, but then Samson's like, no, you need to have photos on the side of the sofa you're going to sit on so people can, And I was like, I get that. And then, so at first I thought, well, I'm getting the other side of the sofa, so it's a compromise. I'll let her have the good side of on the photos. And then he said, no, you need to take the photos. But because we'd taken so many already, I just had to like suffer. And then, you know, when it's like, I am dreading seeing these photos because I know it's not the side I prefer. But they actually turned out all right. But still, I wasn't as comfortable. Like if I took them this side, I'm a lot more like, I know what I'm doing. Whereas it's weird, isn't it? When I take them that side, I'm very much like, I was thinking in my head the whole time, like, oh God, how are these going to turn out? How am I standing?
You automatically turn to your preferred side. Like when
Yeah.
you're awkward, you're like that. I'm trying. I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
I was interviewed on a podcast a few weeks ago, and in a studio, and again the way they've got it set up, it was like that side. And I'm pretty sure when the videos come in, I'm going to be constantly going like that as I'm talking for that very reason.
Yeah.
You automatically do it, and it's like, whoa.
I was doing it.
But yeah, before you do a branding shoot or anything and you're on your phone, one thing is, like when I say don't pout, a lot of people do, and I've seen them all over social media where they're either prospecting or they're looking for a job
Or looking for something else.
Yeah, your clients don't want to kiss, and your potential employer doesn't want to kiss.
I don't know, some of them do,
but it depends what you're going for. But yeah, it's like, smile, man, or be serious.
Yeah,
you want to invite people in.
Yeah, you don't want to give them a kiss.
I might post something on LinkedIn next week, like
Yeah, that.
Cool. Okay. All right. So there's been some stuff happening in the social media world.
Are we doing this on Twitter?
Loads of stuff. So, and obviously, because we had to miss live lunch last week because I was at UPW and people were on holiday, and Mark's not here today because he's on holiday. He was on holiday, and so we were kind of like it was just going to be you, Nicole, wasn't it?
It was, and I don't think people would have taken 40 minutes of me. Do you know what I mean?
I think they'd love it. I think you'd be a rock star, but there you go.
You'd be having a conversation with yourself. It'd be great.
I would.
They had us.
Oh, you do it a lot anyway, so fine. Okay, so there's loads of stuff that's happened over the last couple of weeks, but there are there's two quite big things. Well, one of them is a big thing. The other one I think is a big thing. Paul Green's just said on Facebook he would have watched you, Nicole.
Oh, thanks.
He'd have kept you company. So yes, there's one big thing I want to talk about because we can't not talk about it. And then the other thing is, so TikTok, obviously, this is a video app. Okay, and I've always said, consider TikTok consider TikTok as somewhere you create assets, like a video editing app. Use it in that way. Don't think of it as a social media app. Think of it that way. You're going to get the benefits of social media, but you're also going to get the benefit of this thing that you can use again and again and again. So a few weeks ago, we heard that they were testing the removal of the watermark, which definitely ticks that box. But then, and it was kind of like in the crossover between last week and this week. Nicole, have you seen that TikTok are now bringing in text-based posts? Have you seen this? Yeah, so I'm kind of like, we've lived in a world over the last few years where all the social media platforms were very heavily text-based, and then they've gone visual. So I say last 5 to 10 years, social media app, which is text-based, introduces photos. Now they've all got photos. Now video starts to get introduced. Now everyone uses video. Now the format of the video has changed. And so now we've got things like the TikToks, the shorts, the reels. Okay, so an app like TikTok, which has always been all about video, is now going to release this feature where, like in your Instagram stories, you can just pick a coloured background and just text on the coloured background. That's what they're going to be bringing in.
Why though?
I know, I don't get it. Because it's almost like the thing that made it, the thing that set it apart, they're now adding something in that just makes it
It just
Another
makes it
social
bland. And
Do you think they're trying to like keep in the loop with all this Twitter thread stuff? So it's like they've got that kind of option for text, but they
personally, I
don't.
don't think they need to though.
No, I agree.
I feel as if we're almost seeing this kind of the beginning of a trend where we go back to text-based content.
Mm.
I'm seeing more and more people that are they're maybe posting less over the course. They're still posting regularly, but less over the course of a week. But rather than it just be like, you know, a paragraph, 3 or 4 lines, it's almost like a mini essay. So I do wonder, like, are we starting to see almost like a cycle where things are going back to text-based again? Now, the photography, the visuals that we use, the photos, the videos that we use allow us to communicate at such a level that people can see how credible you are. They can see your passion. They can feel your values, which, you know, when it's just text, I forget the stats now. You know, if we're just looking at the words that you use, you're only receiving like 20-30% of communication. You know, why do we continue to do live speak? Because people get to see us, hear us. They pick up on the body language. They pick up on the tonality in our voices. They see where we're bored, where we're excited, where we're compassionate, where we're empathetic, where we're whatever other emotions happen to crop up, right? So I feel that if we are starting to see that cycle, I'm not sure how I feel about that. Long form content should be, in terms of words, long form content should be your blogs. That should sit on your website. That should be pushed out. Your social media platforms are your megaphone, if you like. That's how we get people back to that long form content. If we start to see loads of long form content on social media in terms of wordage, I just kind of feel that it would be taking a massive step backwards.
It is really, isn't it? And it's not what the platform's for. And
Yeah.
like, are they rolling it out or are they just testing it?
Testing, I think it is starting to roll out, but I can't remember if it's regional or not. Now, don't get me wrong, there are people that have been, I've seen, what have I seen? Let's say a band, like not even a band, but a singer-songwriter. And they've kind of put the lyrics up and had music play in the background.
Mm.
So it is a video clip. And maybe they've animated the text. Maybe they've had the text scrolling up almost like it's on a teleprompter kind of thing.
Mm.
So that I don't have a problem with. That works.
But it's just going to be static.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like your Instagram stories.
Yeah.
I'm just.
I don't get the point in it. Like, they don't
just literally ticking it off the list.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's not.
It's pointless.
I don't know. It is.
I just, like I said,
Do you reckon it's trying to bring in like the generational, or it's trying to bring in a new generation, but then
sort of to help it age up?
Yeah, but what does that fit into? Because everyone.
So these text posts can be up to 1,000 characters long.
Oh no.
No,
Oh no.
I
could see him losing quite a few if that was to roll out.
I don't think it will lose. I don't think it will lose. I don't think it will lose audience.
I mean,
it might lose the feeling of it. So it's So I'm kind of like not quite sure. Not sure about that.
That's quite like, because obviously for now with the videos, don't they? The like your followers, but then the for you section. It'd be interesting to see how they work that out.
That's something else that's happened. Threads have introduced. You've got a basically a for you and a following feed there as well. So
that's confusing me because like I'm getting followers every day and I haven't even done anything. I'm like,
because it links to your Instagram.
Oh yeah, but I'm just like, I'm
So
obviously.
if you follow someone on Instagram and you set up your Threads account,
Is it suggested?
as the people that follow you on Instagram, when they join Threads, it automatically turns them into a follower.
Got it. And
Right, Emma's right. Nicole, you're gonna have to explain this. Emma says she feels this is she talked about TikTok. It feels like her whole feed is people doing the NPC thing and organising bids. What's the NPC thing?
NPC. I have no idea. NPC. And organising bids, I feel like the text will introduce
NPC.
non-player characters.
Non-player characters.
I haven't seen these.
I feel like I'm old.
This is the thing that's made me feel old.
Yeah, God, Emma.
I'm a millennial, you know what I mean? I'm actually not really in this. TikTok is just a funny one for me. Like, it sounds bad, but I forget about the app. And then I'm like, oh, I've got TikTok. Let me have a look what's going on. And then I go for a phase where I go on it for a bit. But I always go back to Instagram. Instagram, it's like I will check every day without fail. Whereas TikTok, I can probably go like a week or two without even checking it and then go on it and be like,
I'm the same.
Yeah.
Like once in a blue moon, I'll go on TikTok, but Instagram, I pretty much live on it.
How much do you use YouTube, Nicole?
I use YouTube a lot. I would say YouTube is up there for me. I don't know. I'm on it every single day again, pretty much without fail, because it's like I watch podcasts on YouTube. So it's probably like if I went on my, I don't know, usage or whatever, I think YouTube would be in the top 3.
See, I very rarely watch a podcast on YouTube. I listen to podcasts through Apple Podcasts. If it's someone I know, that's the only time. So friends of mine, Chloe Beesom, she's just launched her podcast, and she had my good friend Dale Pinnock on there. So I watched that on YouTube. And Charles, you know Dale as well, don't you? You've met him before.
Yeah.
Introduced you. And then Imran, who's my business partner at Success Psychology, his episode released this week, so I watched that. Previous to that, I've watched a couple of episodes of Diary of a CEO probably about 4 or 5 months ago. I hardly use YouTube.
It's weird, like with podcasts, because obviously it's audio. But if you've never heard of this person that's talking in your ear or in the car, whatever, it then makes you curious to find out what they actually look like. So that's why does that make sense? That's why you go to YouTube.
Yeah, I guess so. And the thing is, though, because you see the clips on Instagram and stuff like that, so you do know what they look like.
Oh, no, but if it's like completely blinded, like you've only listened to this podcast because you come across it on Spotify. Oh,
you're right.
Well, I accidentally leant on my keyboard and then my computer just came out like, game over.
Did it come up with a little box that has the little cross eyes in it and the sad thing?
No, it's got a dinosaur and like cactus. Weird. Anyway, sorry, yeah.
Okay, so the other thing then, because we've got to wrap up in a minute, the other thing is Twitter and its rebrand.
I wish
the
I
word is gone. We've
got
X
that is the
instead.
biggest mistake. Like, how generic is a black and white X, for God's sake?
What? Like, what is he thinking? Like,
when I saw that, I just thought, like, you have actually now officially ruined this app. Like, I don't get why. I don't know. Like, why has he just thought, like, this looks good and, like, this is going to, like, do better than the Bluebird? Like, everyone's still going to call it Twitter in 10 years' time, I guarantee
What's he called it?
X. So the new logo is literally an X. So this is the. So I wrote an article that it was published last week about Threads, and within that article I talked about, and I people keep asking me this, like, what's my opinion? Yeah, there you go.
Chop the bird in half. How savage is that?
In my eyes, this is just like a massive PR thing for him.
Honestly, I don't. Well, I don't know about that. I feel that he sees where it's going. We're talking about someone who's highly intelligent.
Oh yeah,
massively successful. Okay, but his ego is just like. And I feel that he's invested all this money in an app, and its demise is around the corner, and he's going, okay, what can we do with it instead? Obviously, he had success with PayPal. They're now looking at turning Twitter into this kind of like payment system as well. And I just feel like X is, if it sticks, I mean, it might be reversed next week when he realizes that what a doofus move it is. But I feel like this may well be the beginning of Twitter's demise. And Twitter will no longer be a social media app. It will be another PayPal, go cardless tool.
That's the thing. He wants to make it an everything app. What does that mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's just, what does that actually mean if you want to put everything on it?
And the things as well, where he's heading with it. I was reading about like the stuff he's wanting to do, and the fact that because to do what he wants to do will only, for the moment, he'll only be able to do it in the US, and that only represents about 30% of Twitter users. So it's like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
No.
And now, like I said, I'm not operating at that level. Okay, I haven't, it's not that I'm unsuccessful, but I certainly haven't had the success that Elon Musk has had. I can work out how to do quite a few things, and I think I do have, there is an element of having an engineering brain, but certainly not on his level. So maybe there are things I just don't see, I don't get, but this makes no sense to me whatsoever. What is interesting, however, what I can get behind is sometimes done is better than perfect. So he's released this new brand, this rebrand. He's released it before they've actually finished the brand. They've kind of said it's got to a point where we can't wait any longer to get it out there. So actually, I really like the fact that, because we all have to do it, and especially like smaller businesses have to be agile. Sometimes being agile means releasing something before it's ready and perfecting it once it's out there. So whether it is a video content, we can be going forever. No, let me reshoot that bit, reshoot that, re-edit that. And it takes you 6 months to get the finished product, by which point, too late.
Gone.
Sometimes done is better than perfect. So I do kind of like that approach with it. But like I said, overall, I'm just like thinking, what the hell? I mean, Paul's just put in the comments on Facebook, the new CEO of Twitter has got a work cut out. Like, can you imagine having to deal with that and that thinking and manage that, deal with that thinking from a position of leadership, and then having to communicate that with the team and be the person sitting in between?
It'd be a nightmare.
It would.
But like you said, he's always got a hidden agenda, I think. There's something more.
Yeah, definitely. Because I do think that this X very much matches his like Tesla brand. Like it's very on that kind of level where, but I just think
I get if you're going to have and this is a conversation I've had recently with someone, when you've got sort of sub brands, there needs to be some cohesiveness. So like if you look at like the Green Umbrella Marketing logo, if you then look at design and print, what we do from that perspective, when you look at our training stuff, the way we position the brand, when we look at those two elements, they're not even green, but the feel is there. If you look at all of our marketing collateral, if you take the logo off of it, it all feels the same. You can still feel the brand. So I do get the shift. Again, Paul's just put in the comments, we've got SpaceX too, so it does work. I do get wanting to bring the Twitter brand into alignment with his portfolio of businesses. So you look at it and go, oh, that must be an Elon Musk product. That must be an Elon Musk brand. I get that. But just the way that it's dropped, just it's like we just woke up and we decided to do this.
Yeah. And I just can't imagine anyone being like, oh, did you see what happened on X last night? Did you see what someone posted on X last night? I'm sorry. It's like Twitter is just so, that is just almost now brainwashed into everyone, that everyone just knows Twitter. It's been around for so long that poor Elon Musk, yeah, he has got his work cut out, because trying to convince people to be like, oh, X.
Even if he'd shifted it from Twitter to Twitter X,
yeah,
and then another 5-10 years dropped the Twitter, that would have made sense. But then, I mean, like if you look at Facebook shifting to Meta, but what happened there is we had Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, and we've still got Facebook. What's happened is we've now got Meta, which is this overarching brand. These are all Meta products. So they're still there in their own rights. So it's, you can go like, it is a, Facebook is a Meta platform. Instagram is a Meta platform. So the branding works from that perspective. So yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Anyway, I've just seen the time. We're running over. We've got to go. I need to jump in the car because I'm about to go off to be interviewed on another podcast. And I need to do my makeup first. Didn't bother for you guys. You're used to it. But these are proper people now. I've got to go. So, Charles, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
I say, anyone wants to get in touch with Charles, then just drop it in the comments. He'll reach out to you. Or JPAD Media on Instagram, isn't it, Charles?
Yeah, that's the one.
There you go. You can follow him there, or over on LinkedIn, Charles Jones. And we will see you next Thursday, 12 o'clock, live as always for the Green Umbrella Live Lunch on Green Umbrella Facebook, my LinkedIn, and our YouTube channel. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.
The wave.